So today we're going to talk about double pedals, and I know pedal tones can be somewhat controversial. Actually, I think they're really only controversial for Reinhardt trumpet followers, which is funny because I do consider myself pretty well versed in the Reinhardt stuff, and I found the Reinhardt methodology to be very useful for me. But I don't know that I agree with necessarily everything that Doc Reinhardt said on every topic, and I think sometimes some of his followers can be a little bit pedantic, and they kind of they get into the demagoguery of making it sound like as if this was some kind of thing that was engraved on a stone tablet, whereas even Doc himself would update his viewpoints on things as time goes by. So Doc was generally opposed to the idea of pedal tones for trumpet players. He supported them for trombone, and I think mainly he had the notions that using pedal tones caused trumpet players to distort their embouchure and would essentially create like a false embouchure, which might produce positive results in the short term being like maybe a few minutes, but wouldn't produce positive results of the long term. To be honest with you, I don't know that I would disagree with that entirely, because Doc was really considering just the idea of just traditional pedal tones. Pedal tones being, of course, those false notes that start below the low F sharp below the staff. What I have found useful, though, are the double pedal tones that Jerry Kallett promoted a lot, and other people have talked about them as well, Jan Pocius and other people. But I think Jerry Kallett was kind of really the biggest proponent of these double pedals. And when I first started getting into the TCE stuff and all these things, I didn't honestly see quite a lot of value in the double pedals. I assumed their purpose was to just relax the chops. And as someone who's been kind of a long time Bobby Shew devotee, I guess you might say, I didn't feel the need necessarily to use double pedals to loosen up any stiff chops. I could just flutter. And I've done a video on that before. And so I just didn't really see the point behind it. But then as I was reading through the 70 pages of post on the TCE forum, the Jerome Kallett forum on Trumpet Herald, I remember specifically running across something that Rich Colquhoun wrote, and that someone else had shared, that they personally weren't seeing a lot of value in the double pedals, and they were finding the double pedal exercises kind of difficult to do. Didn't really see the point, so they were skipping those and were doing other exercises for TCE. And Rich shared that if you don't do the double pedals and the double pedal exercises, you are missing the lesson that the exercise is trying to teach you. Now that's interesting. So at that point, I felt much the same way about double pedals. I was doing those and feeling like, I don't know, they're really helping me a whole lot. And the exercise of that are listed in there, which is essentially playing a double pedal and then slurring 2 octaves up and trying to connect the embouchures together and stuff like that, I found it kind of difficult to do. I felt like it didn't set me up for playing. And so I was kind of like, I don't like doing that. It doesn't seem to, it doesn't, as a warm-up or whatever, it's not helping me playing. I don't like it. But Rich's comment really stuck with me. And so I've kept the double pedals in and would work on them. And honestly, I would say it was within a week of when I read this comment, which has been months ago now, that I started understanding what he was talking about. So let's talk a little bit about this. So first of all, with the double pedal, I'll show you how to do them later. But the first thing is you do get those relaxation benefits. So that is a thing that occurs. So you do get, this low fluttering. It's very similar to a lip flutter. The difference is that it's very focused straight into the vibrating portion of your lips. So it's a very focused kind of flutter, and it does relax them. And so if they're stiff, or if you're feeling tired, or specifically if you're feeling some of that lactic acid start to build up, using the double pedal is a great way to kind of combat that, and especially during a gig. You can do it during a gig too. I find during a gig, I can just do the mouthpiece and kind of make a fist at the end. And that gives me a pretty good approximation, and it's really, really quiet. So that does work, and that is a useful thing. But that's not the game changer, okay? Because there's a lot of things you can do that would do that. The game changer for me on the double pedal is what it does is to play the double pedal. I guess I'm gonna have to show you how to do it. Well, before I do that, to play the double pedal, you have to have your embouchure in the correct position, and that position, for me at least, sets me up for the correct embouchure throughout all the rest of my ranges. Here's what I mean by that. For me specifically, throughout, I think essentially nearly all of my trumpet playing career, definitely from college on, is when I really became aware of it. So that was, in the 90s. So this was, 30 years ago. I've been dealing with this problem. I felt like my bottom lip was kind of pushed up against my teeth, and it would tend to kind of recede and fold over my teeth, and like it just would lose all the support and stuff with it. And I had such a hard time trying to keep that bottom lip out there and understand what the bottom lip should do. I always struggled with that. It's been a lifelong struggle to try to figure that out. But as I've worked on these double pedals, I realized the double pedal is getting that bottom lip in its correct position. And then all it takes is just a slight vertical adjustment to line it up properly, because it's in the right position. Now I'm just getting that bottom lip. This is maybe a better example of bottom lip. Once it's in the right position, just now letting it close a little bit to go up the 2 octaves is really all that's necessary to keep that in position. And that setup has set my embouchure up to be much more efficient and effective in all other registers. So if you're someone who, embouchure's perfect, you have no challenges, then this won't apply to you, obviously. But I think specifically if you feel like, I feel like sometimes my top lip loses its support, then I think you'll find these double pedals in particular to be really useful for you. To be clear, if you aren't that type of person, these double pedals won't hurt anything. And they are specifically more valuable than the single pedals. So, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Now, I haven't played anything at all today or haven't warmed up at all. So let me kind of show you what I'm talking about. So first of all, with the double pedal, and there's lots of videos and text written about this. You can maybe search and find if you need more help. But instead of playing in like you would on a normal pedal where you set everything on your embouchure or whatever, this is actually quite a bit different. You're going to set the mouthpiece inside your bottom lip here, like that. Not on your bottom lip, inside the wet part of your lip. Like that. And you tilt the horn way up. That's probably, what is that? If that is 90 degrees, then this is probably, from the ground, probably 120, 130 degrees. Wrap your bottom lip around. Get the low pitch, low C. Boom. And you can see not only am I lifting the horn up, I'm kind of tilting my head down. You don't have to. You could raise the horn higher if you want, but the combination of the two makes it easier for me. Bring this in a little closer so you can see that bottom lip better. So doing that gets that lip in the right position, and then when you move to the, I'm trying to move a little further back, when you move to the register above it, you are just allowing it to kind of close while still staying kind of open and unfurled like that. Trying to keep the air moving. You're intentionally not like stopping and resetting. You're just trying to keep exhaling and sliding it up. Now, when I slide it up, here's what I've learned so far, is that it's not that position is the absolute optimum mouthpiece placement position. That's not really the point of it. The point is to get that feeling of being able to play in my normal range with that bottom lip kind of support out there and supporting it, you know. That's the point of it. The point of it is to do that. And then what I noticed for me, for my regular playing, is I take many of those same elements of setting up on the top lip, which I've done videos on this before, and then rolling back, down. But I still feel like that bottom lip is kind of open like that. Now, like I said, I haven't warmed up, so if I was warming up, then I would work in to kind of get the connectivity and remove some of those, missed notes, and just kind of clean it up. But I'm not here to perform for you. I'm here to try to share something with you, so I don't mind sharing the, seeing how the sausage is made here as we get started. But I find that's the benefit of the double pedal, is getting that bottom lip out there. And then you can do those exercises, and you can take them further. Tone quality doesn't really matter at this point. It's not really about that. It's going to be probably kind of rough and stuff like that, because you're not setting up for the ideal embouchure, but you are teaching that bottom lip to kind of open up. Greg Spence calls it like being like the milk spout, how it kind of comes out. And I find that that's really, really useful and really helpful for me. I hope that you find that it's useful for you. I want you to give those a shot. Abandon the idea of the single pedal range. That doesn't really help very much. There's not a lot of value in that, I don't think that does a whole lot for you. But those double pedals, super relaxing, and does a great job of getting this bottom lip out there and to set up into place. Give that a shot. Let me know what you think.